Have you ever looked at that black screen, the one with the blinking cursor, and just felt completely lost? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. But what if I told you that screen, mastering it, is the single most important step in your entire DevOps journey? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on Linux. We're going to show you why it's not just some tool, but the very foundation of almost all modern tech. Let's get into it. So, here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the basics. The what. What even is an OS? Then we'll jump into the really important why. Why is Linux the undisputed king in the world of DevOps? After that, we'll take a quick peek under the hood to see how it all works. And then, the best part. We're going to get hands-on with your very first commands. By the end of this, you'll have a super clear roadmap for your journey.
All right, first things first, let's start at square one. Before we can even talk about Linux, we need to get a handle on what an operating system, or OS, actually is. The easiest way to think about it? It's the ultimate translator, the bridge that connects you to your machine.
I mean, really think about it. You get a brand new laptop. It's this beautiful piece of hardware, right? But it's just a chunk of metal and plastic until you install an operating system. You want to browse the web, play a game, write some code. How do those applications actually talk to the physical parts, the CPU, the memory? That's the exact problem the OS is built to solve.
The short answer is they can't. Not directly anyway. Your software can't just tell the hardware what to do. The OS has to be the middleman. Your application sends a request to the OS then translates that for the hardware, and then the hardware sends the result all the way back up the chain. It's this incredible dance that happens billions of times a second without you even noticing.
So, to put it simply, the OS is like the conductor of a huge orchestra. It's making sure all the different parts of your computer are working together in perfect harmony. Without it, you've just got a bunch of instruments making a whole lot of noise.
Okay, so now we know what an OS is. Let's talk about the one that basically runs the internet. Why do all the pros, all the big companies overwhelmingly choose Linux over something familiar like Windows or Mac OS? This is a really important one.
Well, it really boils down to three huge reasons. First, and this is a big one, it's free. That means companies can save literally millions of dollars in licensing fees. Second, it's a fortress. The way it's built makes it incredibly resistant to viruses and malware. And third, it's a speed demon. It's lean, it's mean, and it's designed for pure performance, which is why it's the only choice for high-traffic websites.
And I'm not just talking about small startups here. Think about this. The next time you're binge-watching a show on Netflix or ordering something from Amazon, just remember you were talking directly to a Linux server. It is the engine that powers the modern internet. Now, you're going to hear names thrown around like Ubuntu, Red Hat, CentOS. Don't let that confuse you. These are just different flavors of Linux, or distributions as we call them. The best analogy is cars. They all have the same Linux engine under the hood, but they come with different body styles, different features. The best part? The commands we're learning today, they work on all of them.
Okay, so we know why Linux is so popular. Now, let's pop the hood for a second and see what really makes it tick. And don't worry, we're not going to get bogged down in super technical details. Just a quick look at the core of the Linux machine.
Right at the very center of Linux is this thing called the kernel. If the operating system is the brain, then you can think of the kernel as the brain stem. It controls all the essential, non-negotiable functions. It's the absolute boss that tells everything else what to do and when to do it.
So what's its job description? Well, the kernel is the ultimate multitasker. It manages your memory, your devices, all the processes running. It's the reason you can be listening to music, browsing the web, and compiling code all at the same time without your computer just catching on fire. It's juggling everything.
All right, this next part is a big one. This is where we need to make a really important mindset shift. I need you to forget about your mouse. Forget about clicking on fancy icons. In the world of DevOps, we fly the plane from the cockpit, and that means using the command line interface, or the CLI.
So why on earth would we do that? It's all about efficiency. A graphical user interface, a GUI, that's like a big, comfy SUV. It's nice to look at, but man, it's slow and it burns through a ton of resources. The CLI, on the other hand, is like a sleek, lightweight race car. It's fast, it's powerful, and it gets the job done with absolutely zero wasted energy.
And here is the key takeaway, the thing you have to remember. In the professional world, every little bit of performance counts. That's why servers don't waste resources on a pretty graphical interface. The command line is faster, lighter, and it is the professional standard. This is where the real work gets done. So how do we actually talk to the CLI?
We use a program called the shell. The most popular one out there is called Bash, and trust me, it's about to become your new best friend. It's the program that listens to your commands and tells the operating system what you want to do. It's your direct line to the heart of the machine.
All right, that's enough talk. It is time to roll up our sleeves and actually get our hands dirty. Let's dive into some of the most essential commands that are going to form the foundation of your entire Linux toolkit.
First up, we got to learn how to get around. Think of it like you're exploring a brand new city. The pwd command is like asking, where am I right now? The ls command is like looking at a map of what's around you. cd is like hopping on the subway to go to a new neighborhood. And cd ... is how you go back one level, to where you just came from. See? It's pretty simple when you think of it that way.
Okay, now let's talk about creating things and destroying things. Touch lets you create a new empty file in an instant. mkr_dir lets you make a new directory or folder. But now, a word of warning. rm is the delete command, and it is powerful. There is no undo button. There's no recycling bin. When you use rm, it is gone forever. So please, use it with a little bit of caution.
And now for the moment I know you've been waiting for, editing files. On a server, you don't have Notepad. You have an editor called VI. And I'm not going to lie, it can be a little intimidating at first. But trust me, once you get the hang of it, you'll be frying. Just follow these steps. Type VI and the file name to open it. Press the I key to go into insert mode. Type whatever you want. Then hit the escape key to get out of insert mode. And finally, type :WQ for write and quit, and hit enter. You got this.
All right, time to play detective. Let's say your server is running slow, and you need to figure out why. These commands are your best friends. Free-m checks your memory. nproc checks your CPU cores. df-h checks your disk space. But your secret weapon is top. Top is a live, real-time monitor of everything happening on your server. It's basically the Linux version of the Windows Task Manager. This one is huge. Wow, you've actually come a really long way in a short amount of time. You've gone from zero to having a solid foundation in just a few minutes. So, let's talk about what comes next, because your journey is really just beginning.
So, here's your homework. I want you to go spin up a free Linux server. You can do it on AWS, Google Cloud, anywhere, and practice these commands until they feel like second nature. And don't just memorize them, try to understand the why behind them. Once you're feeling comfortable, start looking into basic shell scripting. That's where you unlock the true power of automation in Linux.
I want to leave you with this final thought. If you can master Linux, DevOps becomes so much easier. Learning it is like learning a new language. At first, it's all a bit confusing. But with practice, you start to think in that language. You become fluent. And once you do, a whole new world of possibilities is going to open up for you. The world of DevOps is waiting. Your journey starts right now.